Charis Kai Irene. Grace and peace to you. My name is Abiut Sagaya and I'm teaching Biblical Greek. I have students in one of the seminaries in Ethiopia. So I help them go through the lessons. So what I do a video lesson every time or every week so that I help the students to go through the material. So this lesson is brought to you not as a full load course, but as a highlight. So these video lessons are not the full load of the study, but they are very helpful. Although they are very short, but they are very helpful. So anyone who wants to start his beginning Greek class, I hope he will find it helpful. So this is what I do every week. So I appreciate if you can go through the lesson and give me your feedback, your comments, and also don't hesitate to subscribe to this channel. Let's grow this channel so that people learn the Greek of the Bible, so that they will have the feel of the original language. So the Lord willing, we may keep adding lessons as we go forward, and I hope you will enjoy it. May the Lord bless you. Thank you once again. Charis Kai Irene. Grace and peace to you.
Diphthong. What is a diphthong? The Greek word diphthongs means with two sounds. Now, in Greek, when two vowels combine to make one sound, they are called diphthongs. So diphthongs are formed by the combination of iota, the vowel iota, and upsilon, the vowel upsilon, as a second vowel. So when you have any other vowel from the 7 vowels, actually now if we remove the 2, we remain with 5. The rest of 5 vowels, when they are combined with iota and upsilon, we call them diphthongs, because they are 2 vowels together, combined together, but they make one sound instead of 2 sounds. That's what is called diphthongs. Now, these are the proper diphthongs. So whenever you find such combination of vowels, you identify them or recognize them as diphthongs, and you pronounce them as one vowel or one word. For example, you don't say AI, instead you say I. So that is like kai, lue, oida, o. Not o-I. It's not o-I. It is o. Oida. Autos. Au. Own. So o. Yours. Pisteu. Eu. U. This is u. Okay? O. A. O. E. Ah, so that's these are not two separate vowels. Not they don't produce 2 separate sounds, but they have one sound. That's why they are called diphthongs. 2 vowels with one sound. So your job here is to identify them. Don't worry about the pronunciation yet. Okay, you will learn in the future. As you go through the material, you will familiarize yourself with each diphthong. But for now, focus on which ones are diphthongs and which are not diphthongs. So we have seen the proper diphthongs. Now let's look at the proper improper diphthongs. Now the improper diphthongs are when we have iota subscript. Iota subscript means iota written underneath another letter with an alpha, an eta, or an omega vowels. Thus, this is how the iota subscript looks like. It is written underneath the letter. Okay? It's written underneath alpha, underneath eta, underneath omega. So these are referred to as improper diphthongs. for you to have a proper view, these are the iota subscripts. So whenever iota comes at the end of alpha or eta or omega, it is under subscripted, and then we call it improper diphthong. Let's talk about smooth and rough breathing. This is very, very important. There are two kinds of breathings in Greek language, which are very important in pronouncing each Greek word. So in any given Greek word, you will have different kinds of marks on it. So it is good now to turn our attention to these different marks that we may encounter as we read any given Greek word. So the first thing is the breathing. So there are two kinds of breathing, one smooth and one rough. Now, smooth and rough breathing. Smooth and rough breathing are placed over a vowel or diphthong. Okay, a vowel could be a diphthong or just one vowel by itself. So it is placed over a vowel or diphthong. In the case of a diphthong, the breathing system will be placed on the second vowel when a word begins with one. Okay, for example, the Greek word for apostle is this one, apostolos. And since it begins with a vowel, So what do? If it begins with a vowel, then the breathing mark will be put over the first word, the first letter of the word on the top of the vowel. Okay? Now, this is what you find. So apostolos, it begins with a vowel. It's not a diphthong because P is not a vowel, so it is not a diphthong. So now we have the breathing. This is a smooth breathing. So if it is marked like this, it is a smooth breathing. Now I will talk about what it means to have a rough breathing and what difference it will make and what function the rough breathing has. So the smooth breathing tells you nothing about how to pronounce the word. It's not telling you to pronounce it in a different way, but the rough breathing will. So we'll see that in a short while. So apostolos, this is an example of a smooth breathing. Then you have a diphthong. Okay, a diphthong. That is two vowels put together, combined together to make one sound. So our Greek word here is oikos. Oikos. So this is a diphthong. Omicron is a vowel. Iota is a vowel. But here, alpha is a vowel. P is not. So we have our breathing mark in the first vowel. But if it is a diphthong, where do we put the breathing mark? We put in the second of the diphthong. Okay? In the second vowel of the diphthong. The second vowel of the diphthong here is iota. So the result is this one. So the smooth breathing is placed over iota. Oikos. Oikos. You read it like oikos, not oikos, because we've said a diphthong has one sound, oikos. It means house. Apostolos means apostle. Hope it is clear, or it will get more clearer as we look at other examples in this lesson. Now, smooth breathing is neither pronounced nor transliterated. So this is very good now for you to have in mind the concept of the breathing marks. So when you have a smooth breathing, it is not telling you to pronounce it in a different way. It is not telling you to transliterate it into English words in a different way. So for example, apostolos it has a smooth breathing, apostolos, and oikos has a smooth breathing, oikos. So you see the transliteration is straightforward, apostolos, oikos. But there will be a different situation for the rough breathing. So now when you have the rough breathing, however, both pronunciation and transliteration will change. So the pronunciation and the transliteration will be represented by H sound as we have in English. So you'll have an H sound. Example is here. We have the Greek word for sun as this one. So you see the breathing mark? You see where it is turned? You see? This is the rough breathing. And it tells me to have a different pronunciation and a different transliteration with an H sound. Okay? So I don't read this one. Yeos. Because the rough breathing tells me to do something, to add an H sound before the word. And the transliteration will be the same. So it will be hios, 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 sun, hios, hios. But when a rough breathing is written over ro, the letter ro, beginning a word, this will be a different case. So for example, you have rho, eta, and this should be mem, and alpha. So rho, the letter rho is beginning the word, and it has rough breathing. So I don't do, this is a different case, okay? Exceptional case here. So I don't just go and apply H here and have hirema. That's not how it works. With this one, it is different. So it's going to be RH instead. RH, not HR. So what happens? Rema. You find Rema. Rema. So this is exceptional. It is not easy for you to memorize. So memorize this one. So 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 25, which has the word Rema, with logos means word. So then it should be transliterated with RH, not HR, and the pronunciation should also be the same. Rema. So we have more examples coming. Now, identify some smooth and rough breathings and then transliterate two words in the verse that have a smooth breathing and two that have rough breathing. So this is what it means. When you find the rough breathing, you always supply an H before that Greek word to have the rough breathing sound and the rough breathing transliteration. For example, since this is a rough breathing, the pronunciation should be ho with an H sound. The transliteration should also be H and O. Okay? Ho. Then you have, this is not rough, this is smooth, so N. Then we have up or kes. Then again, rough breathing, ho, ako, command. And then you have another rough breathing, ho, and then you have another rough breathing, which calls you to supply an H before it for the pronunciation as well as for the transliteration. Then what you get here is herokamen, tois of thalamois, human, okay, human, because of the rough breathing. And then ho, again, rough breathing, but here it is a smooth breathing. I don't supply an H sound before it. So itestameta, kai. Then I have the rough breathing here, so it should be high, charis, humon, epsilefesan, peritou, logoutes zoes. So these are the concepts of smooth and rough breathings. Let me read out this Greek letter, this Greek verse in 1 John chapter 1, verse 1. So pay attention to the rough breathings as I read them, and the smooth breathings where I leave out I read it without an H sound. When I get the rough breathing, I read it with an H sound. Ho en up arches, ho akokamen. Ho herakamen tois of talamois, humen. Ho etestameta kai haikaris humon efle fesen peritou logoutes zoes.
So here is an example of rough breathing and how it is pronounced, as well as how it is transliterated. So this verse is from John chapter 1 John chapter 1 verse 1. So let's see how we will pronounce a rough breathing and how we will transliterate it. So this is the first letter here. Since you see this is a rough breathing, you see, let me make it bold. Here, this is a rough breathing. Maybe I make this all because since we are creating, the rough and the smooth breathing, let me bolden it for you to see it. So, okay, let me reduce the font of this one so that you have a full view of the other words as well. So this let's try with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words. So you see, this is a rough breathing. Now this tells me to pronounce it with an H sound and to translate it with that. Okay, so it's not O, it is ho. So the transliteration will be H and then ho. Then, since this is a breathing, this is not a breathing mark. This one is actually this is an accent mark, a circumflex accent mark. This one is a breathing mark. It is smooth, so no H sound for this one. So N should be N. Okay, N. How about here? You remember the elision we talked about? So Omicron is dropped out, elided, because of this alpha that begins the next word with a vowel. So up, arches. So this is smooth, so I don't need to have an H sound, so it's going to be up. Okay? Ho, N, up. Then this is also smooth breathing with an accent circumflex. So arches, A, R, then K, okay, S, arches. So ho N, arches. How about this one? This is a rough breathing, so I need to have H, O. So that is ho. Okay, ho. That is ho. Then akokamen. Again, here I don't need to have an H sound because this is smooth breathing. Alpha for A, kappa for K, eta for E, and kappa, K, and then O, and then alpha, and then mu, then epsilon, and then nun. Ako, akko, amen. Akko, amen. Akko, amen. And then now I have the rough breathing. So I need to have H-O, that is ho. How about this one? This is a rough breathing. So I begin with an H sound. Okay? I begin with the H sound here. It is actually should be he, o, ra, ka, men, horacamen. So this is if I drag if I extract all the English words, okay, from here, this is what I have. Okay, let me change the font color here. This is transliteration. It's not translation. Okay. See the transliteration. This is what you are required to do for your exercise 1. Ho en ap arkes, ho ak ko amen, ho heura kamen. That's how you read it. So there you have your rough, smooth breathing with pronunciation and with transliteration. Thank you very much. So go to the next lesson, to the next slides, and pay attention to what you will learn as a new concept.